Hey guys, it's me Maro, and GXK is almost here. Holy shit, I'm excited for this film.
But I thought you said you're not gonna like it.
I said it would be a fun film. But yeah, I'm excited for GXK. I thought to build up hype for this movie, while also just getting views and more subscribers. Hey man, at least I'm being honest here. I wanted to look back at the other 4 films in the Monsterverse and look at their fights to see which one is the best out of them all. I didn't really want to have a whole intro for this video, since there's just really no point to it. But yeah, I'll be going over the fights in the 4 films, along with one from Monarch that definitely made it on this list. Now before we get onto the listings, I do want to make a couple rules here. Since there's quite a bit of action in these movies, I'll be cutting down some of these quote-unquote fights. What I'm mainly looking for is major fights that have happened in these films, so stuff in Kong Skull Island like the soldiers versus the island creatures, I won't be adding those onto the list. Another thing I won't be adding is fights that didn't have any build-up or anything like that. For example, the Kong vs mini Skullcrawlers fight won't be added onto the list because it's barely a fight. Some other stuff like Godzilla vs the male Muto on the TV, well no, I'm not counting that. And other very small stuff is a no. I'm just counting some of the major fights that we actually see on the big screen. So yeah, without further ado, let us begin our adventure with the first fight on this list, number 15. Okay, I lied. There's a 10-second fight that goes on this list. Rodan vs King Ghidorah from King of the Monsters. Can I even count this as a fight? The fight lasts for 10 seconds, Rodan sucks, and you can't really see much in the fucking hurricane. Yeah, this fight isn't good. Hell, the fucking soldiers versus the spider thing could be kind of more of a fight than this. However, I just wanted to add this on the list to shit on it. So yeah, last place goes to Rodan vs King Ghidorah. Now on to number 14. Next on the list at number 14 is Kong vs the Giant Squid from Kong Skull Island. Okay, this isn't terrible. It's whatever. Entertaining to watch at least. It's funny to see Kong kill a giant squid. What I like about this fight is that you definitely feel that weight and realism in it, while also being able to see everything since it's in the daytime. And plus, we actually get to see the full fight. However, it's not mind-blowing. It's not really that long of a fight. But you know, better than the last one we had. Oof, another King of the Monsters fight on this list. Number 13 goes to the ocean fight from Godzilla King of the Monsters. Now, okay, I only put this above the last one because the fight does last a little longer. Also, you can kind of see a bit more than the Rodan vs Ghidorah fight, which happened like 3 minutes prior to this. But then they ruined the fight by killing Godzilla with the Oxygen Destroyer. Yep, because we needed that in the film. Look, fan service! Remember that from the first movie? Yep, it's there, do you remember? At number 12, we have our only fight from 2014, Godzilla vs the Mutos, the climax of the film. Alright, this fight is, it's actually not terrible. We get quite a bit of action between Godzilla and the Mutos, and even though the action does cut away from the monsters to the humans, it's not too annoying. Hell, I'd say it's actually a great way to show depth of field and scale. However, I just wish we had better characters. This fight has the weight and realism, which I definitely like, and we also got one of the best finishers to any Godzilla villain ever. Hell fucking yes. So why is this so low on the list, I hear you ask? Well, it's because you can't fucking see anything! It is extremely dim. Very, very dark. Now yes, I know there are bright enough footage of it on YouTube, however the film had it like this. What? You see a black screen? No, you're seeing Godzilla beat the shit out of the Mutos. If the footage was brighter and we got good human characters, this would definitely be way higher on the list. But, sadly it's all the way down here. Now before you fuckers say anything, I like saying Nozuki. Number 11 goes to Kong vs Nozuki from Godzilla vs Kong. This is actually not that bad of a fight. It is short, but it's not really main focus to a plot or anything. It's just a fun fight to show the creatures down on the Hollow Earth. Plus, the scenery here is really cool looking. Now, it doesn't really have scale or much cinematography, but again, it's still a fun fight. And plus, you can actually see stuff compared to 2014, like, ew! So yeah, Kong vs Nozuki. That's pretty much it. Man, King of the Monsters ain't doing so good. The final fight from Godzilla King of the Monsters, aka the Boston fight, takes the number 10 spot on this list. Now, some of you will be bitching in the comments, but this fight is not too bad. We get a lot of action with Godzilla, Mothra, Rodan, Ghidorah, and and it is entertaining to watch when, the monsters are shown. However, god damn, they cut away so much! And also, this is a similar problem with 2014. You can't really see a whole lot, although it is better than 2014. One thing I wasn't really a huge fan of with this fight was the blue filter over the film. It doesn't really make sense to add this here, since if you know about graphic design or cinematography, you'll know that blue generally goes with a cold color, which doesn't fit this setting. But like I said before, the fight is pretty entertaining when we see the monsters, and plus, it lasts for a while. We also got some cool shots like Ghidorah dropping Godzilla from 50,000 feet, the lightning storm, and burning Godzilla. Although I do wish burning Godzilla was blue instead of red. I think it would fit a little more. Number 9 goes to the humans versus the juvenile Skullcrawler. Okay, I did say the non-Titan fights from Kong Skull Island didn't count. However, this one really stuck out from the rest, and definitely felt more like a major fight than anything. I like the setting of the scene, how everything is smoggy, which adds to the fact that these characters are really screwed. Seeing shots of the Skullcrawler hunting around in the smog is really cool looking, and the yellow color choice definitely fits with that whole danger feel. I also think the action we got with the Skullcrawler is amazing, him eating people, destroying bones, and getting burnt alive. In the middle of the scene, we also got our main character slicing some birds in the toxic green smoke. This mini fight really surprised me. However, I'm not making it higher, and it's mainly because these later fights interest me more than this one. But this fight is definitely one to remember. Coming in at number 8, we got our first fight in Godzilla King of the Monsters. Godzilla vs. Ghidorah in the Arctic. Alright, we're starting to get some pretty good fights here. Yeah, I'd like this fight. Only really have a couple problems, but let's start with the positives. The cinematography is really good here. It makes Godzilla and Ghidorah feel massive when we also have shots of the human characters. We also got shots like this, damn! The blue filter is back with this fight, but here it actually works. Like I said before, blue is a cold color in the sense this is the Arctic. This fits a lot here. We get some pretty cool action with both Titans fighting, using their beam attacks, and just straight up brawling. Oh yeah, I forgot to bring this up with the other fights on this list so far, but the music for all of these fights, awesome. All the music in King of the Monsters is probably the best we have gotten in the Monsterverse so far. Although GXK is right around the corner, I don't know who's composing it, so we'll just have to wait and see. No spoilers, please. Now it's time to go on to the negatives of this fight, and I only really have two. The fight is a bit short, and we cut to the human characters a bit. Once again though, the cutting to the human characters sometimes works with scale, so it's not terrible. Again, I just wish the fight would have lasted a little bit longer. It's not like, a final fight, so it's like... whatever. At number 7, we got the ocean fight from Godzilla vs. Kong. Man, I have a lot to say about this one. First and foremost though, cinematography is on point. Actually, most of these fights afterwards, they get the cinematography to a T, so I most likely don't have to bring it up again. I like how the fight is in daytime so you can see everything, and I do like how unique the fight is, with it, being in water-based environments. This definitely helps Kong's character in the movie with him being a main character. It shows that even in Godzilla's territory, he could still hold his ground. The fight is also pretty entertaining, with Godzilla trying to get Kong jumping from boat to boat, and then the two of them fighting on the aircraft carrier. For the most part, this is a pretty entertaining first fight to the movie, and I have little to no problems with it. However, the actual fight part of the scene, there isn't much of it. The only real confrontation where both started duking it out was when Godzilla climbed on board of the ship, but Kong then got stuck underwater and humans helped. So overall, very little problems with this fantastic fight. Oh boy, we on to a good one. Number 6 goes to Kong versus the helicopters from Kong Skull Island. The reason this is here is due to how well put together this scene is. There is practically no cutaways from the action, the scene lasts for a while, and this is the first we see of Kong. I do like how this first fight in the movie isn't even a kaiju fighting another kaiju, instead we got humans fighting a monster. I think that's what I really like about Skull Island, to be honest. The human characters being a major focus is good since we actually care for them. This scene perfectly shows the destructive nature of Kong and is a well put together opening to his character in the movie, which is really perfect to be honest. Also, the more I go on, the more I realize that I have less to say, besides me gushing about how well these fights are. So, yeah, expect some of these later explanations to be a little bit more shorter. Now we are on to the top 5 of this list, and in 5th place, we have Godzilla and Kong versus MechaGodzilla from Godzilla vs. Kong. Now, I will be including both Godzilla fighting him alone and the team up. As much as I feel like MechaGodzilla shouldn't have been in this movie, I can't lie and say this entire scene was awesome. First off, we got Godzilla vs. MechaGodzilla, beautiful cinematography, daytime fight, nice POV shots, and cool action scenes. I love the part where they do the beam clash, because like, come on, who doesn't love that? We really get to see how dangerous MechaGodzilla is, how much of a threat he is to the monsters. Also, the music, man! Like, holy shit, this goes hard. And then we come to the team up, and as stupid as this is, I love this fight. Seeing Godzilla and Kong work together is so cool, man. The moves they do against the mech, the theme going really hard, and also MechaGodzilla's death is really cool and brutal. I swear, if they changed that oil to blood, it would have been rated R. Could I put this higher on the list? That's a little tough for me to answer. On one part, we got really cool action scenes in daytime of the two working together. However, the team up thing is a little stupid. If this was a three-way battle, it would have been number 3. But I think 5th is an appropriate place for it right now. As shit as King of the Monsters was, it gave birth to one of the best chase scenes we got in cinema. In 4th place, we have Rodan versus the fighter jets from King of the Monsters. Holy shit! This scene is probably the definition of build-up in a great way. Basically, it leads up to Rodan and Ghidorah fighting a couple minutes from now. That fight is kind of stupid or whatever, but holy shit! This first, I have to mention, the orange color is a great choice for this warm environment, because if they stuck with the blue, then The theme for Rodan is very fast and impactful for this scene, which gives that chaotic feel and build-up that I mentioned earlier. Cinematography good once again, and then we get to the action. Seeing Rodan do all this crazy shit like eating the fighter jets, doing a barrel roll. Yes, predictable Star Fox joke. I get it. And just, flying. It's all really cool, and the best scene in King of the Monsters. I just wish we got an actual fight between him and Ghidorah, and not just a bowling session that lasts for 10 seconds. And now we are on to number 3. Who gets the bronze trophy, I hear you ask? Well, let me tell you. In 3rd place, we have the final fight to Monarch Legacy of Monsters, Godzilla vs. Ion Dragon. This fight is short, I will say that. But, and this is a big but, I don't really mind too much. I think it's just enough monster action that was built up from the 2nd episode of Monarch, showing Ion Dragon, and episode 6 is showing Godzilla. We knew this fight was going to happen, and the payoff was amazing. The setting is good, we get amazing sense of scale with the human characters below the two brawling, and we also got really nice cutting action, cool fighting styles with Godzilla and Ion Dragon, and overall, a fight that works being short. I think if the fight was longer, it would feel a little tiring. Plus, Ion Dragon isn't the strongest villain, so it's mainly just Godzilla having a bit of a tough time with him. Another thing is that there isn't too much cutting away from the fight. We still see it in the background when we cut to some of the human characters, which, once again, gives a sense of scale. And plus, the human characters are really good here, so yeah. Definitely watch Legacy of Monsters, just so you get that satisfaction when you see this final fight, and also because it's an amazing series. Definitely give it a watch. Now we're on to number 2, and I really had to think hard about this one. Overall, the fights in the top 5 of this list are definitely all amazing, with little to no problems. But that makes it difficult to determine which one is better from the rest. However, after quite a bit of thought, I decided that 2nd place goes to the Hong Kong fight in Godzilla vs. Kong. Oh my god! What can I say that I haven't said already before? Well, nothing really. The setting is so cool, man. I always thought that the Otachi fight from Pacific Rim was going to be the only fight to take place in Hong Kong for a while. But now we got this. Rainbow City is amazing for a fight. It's like Godzilla and Kong travel to the Yakuza games. Seeing both of them fight and brawl for a pretty long fight is definitely entertaining. You will not get bored of this fight at all. Nice POV shots once again, practically no cutting away from the action besides this little bit. So for the most part, it's just these two monsters duking it out with nothing to interrupt them. The only thing I can really say about this fight that would be considered a flaw, Godzilla uses his atomic breath a little too much. Please don't act like piranhas in the comments section. I'm not saying it completely ruins the fight, but it's just one nitpick. But that's it. One nitpick. And then we get to the second part of the fight where Godzilla is going at it with Kong, and the roaring shot just... Oh my god! But Kong loses, so 0 out of 10. All jokes aside, this fight was amazing to watch, and I hope that GXK has the same energy with the many fights the movie seems to be having. However though, there's one more place. And along with that, one final fight. Now, I said that picking my top 5 was pretty hard, and I still do stand by that point. However, that excludes number 1. When making this list, I put this fight as number 1 first, since I knew the other fights could not beat it. That's due to how perfect it is. In first place, with the gold and platinum trophy, we have the final fight to Kong Skull Island. Kong versus Ramarak. Where do I even begin with this fight? First off, the cinematography is absolutely fantastic. We got all sorts of shots here, nice scaling, amazing lighting, low angles, high angles. We get to see all of this fight in action. It's also helped with the fact that this fight takes place during the daytime. At some points we do cut to the human characters, however, this is one of the only times where there's no problems with it. The human characters in this movie were awesome, so watching this fight, you just go like, yeah, shoot that fucker, yeah, shoot him in the fucking eye, and then, what the fuck? Kong has a fucking scorpion move? What? What? This fight has no filters over it, so we're just getting some normal grounded lighting. And to help with that grounded feel, the monsters move in a way that makes them feel very heavy, something that I love. I also love the fake out at the end where we see even more action, and the death is just... truly a perfect final fight to a monster movie. And that's why this fight deserves the title of number 1 in the Monsterverse. Well, that's about it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and hopefully didn't piss off some of you guys. If I did, then, well, fuck you. This was a very fun video to make in preparation for GXK. I can't wait to watch this movie, guys. Like, I can't wait! It's gonna be so much fun, man. Fuck! But, until then, thank you all for watching and sticking around, and I will see you guys in the next video. See you later.